Hello, and welcome back to the Learning Curve podcast, where growth is messy, healing is nonlinear, and every season teaches us something new. I'm your host, Jerisha, and today we're going to talk about that tricky transition from winter to summer. First of all, hello, welcome back. I know I have been gone for a while. I have been hibernating, speaking of the winter. And we're in that season now when the days are getting longer, the sun's getting warmer, and suddenly you feel this huge surge of energy. And this is after months of having really low vibes, gray skies, rain, cold, blankets, couch time. You've been moving slower, you've been sleeping more, you've had no energy. And now this time of year really feels like you're waking up again, like you're becoming alive again, like you're being resurrected from the dead. And so the energy feels amazing. Let me tell you, it's just like a boost of adrenaline, but it can also lead you straight into burnout if you're not careful. So here's the thing. Just because you have the energy to do more does not mean that you should try to do everything. So let's unpack that a little bit because I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive. So, winter has a way of forcing us inward, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. And it's not always a bad thing, especially when we're coming off a busy summer, a busy fall, a busy year. But when that summertime hits, it can feel like the world is expecting us to flip on a dime and suddenly be social, more productive, busy, and booked. And that can feel like a lot. So today's lesson on the learning curve is going to be this: honor your energy, but pace yourself. Here's a few reminders to stay grounded. First of all, energy is not a signal to overcommit. Just because you are waking up a little earlier, you got a little pep in your step, does not mean that you say yes to every plan, every trip, every project. It means choosing wisely and asking, does this align with how I want to feel for the summer? And think about that. Do we ever think about that going into the warmer weather? What's my goal for the summer? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to have around me? I don't think we really think about that. We just think, ooh, it's warm out. I'm about to be outside, get my toes done, sundress season. But I do think you need to back that up. I need to really think about what are the goals for how I want to live my life this summer. Second thing, don't feel like you need to make up for your winter season. Being in rest is not lost time. Slowing down taught me something. It taught me that it is okay to honor my need to rest. It is okay not to do everything on the to-do list. It's okay to say no. It's okay to cancel. It's okay to reschedule. It's okay to not have anything scheduled at all. I took this season of rest. I need to make sure I'm not in the mindset that now I need to earn my summer by being out here working overtime in all areas of my life. I'm already worth the joy of having a great summer. I don't have to prove that to myself. Build in pauses. So whether it's taking a day off, whether it's taking a walk with no real purpose, 15 minutes of stillness, trying to continue to build in those pauses help you stay connected to yourself, especially when life starts to speed up because you have more energy and because you're doing more things. Fourth thing, let joy be simple. Every summer doesn't have to be the best summer ever, even though we do try to make it that way. It doesn't have to be highlight reel after highlight reel. This could be the summer of quiet joy, laughter with friends, movement that feels good, sleeping that feels deep and restful. Joy can be very simple. It doesn't have to be fast-paced, jam-packed. So if you're finding yourself feeling recharged around this time of year, that's beautiful for you. I really love that for you. But don't feel the pressure to sprint through the summer season. Think about it. You went through the whole winter anticipating spring and summer, the warmer weather, more energy. We want to languish in this time frame. We don't want to breeze through it so quickly that before we know it, it's September, October, and then we're in our winter season again. Growth takes time. It takes patience. Fully leaning into what this warmer weather can do for you, your energy, your mental, emotional, spiritual self. That takes some time to learn about that. Let me give you some real life examples and how I get caught up in this trap of feeling like I need to make up for my winter season. As y'all know, I've shared before that I do struggle with depression, and it has a seasonal affective component. And what that means is that as the seasons change and we get less light, earlier evenings, darker mornings, darker, cooler weather, grayer skies, my mood tends to plummet. And so with that plummet in mood also goes a plummet in energy for me. And so it really becomes a period of hibernation. And I don't say that facetiously. It really is like I am a bear crawling into my cave for the winter season. It is much harder for me to engage with people. It's harder for me to think about leaving my home for basically anything. Getting to work feels like a chore. Working feels like a chore. Everything feels like a chore besides lounging. And for a long time, I tried to fight that. I really tried to fight that experience that I was going through. And I'd get upset with myself. I'd feel guilty when I took rest days. I'd overcommit myself and then end up canceling, rescheduling, and really getting on people's nerves, to be honest. And so finally, I leaned into the fact that this is me, this is how I'm made. And every fall, winter season, I'm going to notice a change in my energy. So rather than fight against it, what I did is I leaned into it and I began to pattern my life and my days based on what my energy level was. So rather than having this list of tasks that I had to try to trudge through, I would create the task that fit where I was in terms of energy. Some days I'd have a burst. I was ready to do a bunch of stuff. So then I'd plan accordingly. Other days, the fact that I got out of bed and put clean clothing on was the success of the day. I made sure to adjust my day so that it took into account where I was in terms of my energy. After I have that season, I start to get really excited maybe around February, March, because I know the spring and summer is coming. Spring for me is a time to do spring cleaning around my house. You know, I am a yard person, so it's time for me to start planning what I'm going to put in the ground and what the yard's going to look like. I am beginning to move my house plants outside. I'm cleaning off the deck. I'm cleaning the backyard. So it's really a time for me to kind of shake off the winter blues and get myself ready for the summer season. If you know me, I always say summertime is my season. I love being able to do happy hours and sit out on patios. I love grilling out. I like entertaining in my backyard. I love the long days. I love the sunshine, the warmer weather. Not too warm though, because perimenopause, so not too warm. But I just love summer. All the activities, the festivals, the concerts, the things happening around town. Just love it. But that takes a lot of energy. And coming off a season of very low energy, I usually use the spring to kind of rev up my energy. But I notice when I start revving up my energy, it's actually like I kick myself into overdrive. Then I have too much energy, or I think I do. And I begin planning all this stuff. I begin starting all these projects. So let's talk about the projects that I have started. If you know me and you're in my life, you know that I decided I wanted to take my crafting that I do and just kind of give to people and turn it into perhaps a way to monetize my hobby. So I decided to start vending. And I create, okay, let me tell you, let me tell you what I do. I created a Instagram page for my crafts, created a name for the business. I created a website. I created marketing. I created the crafts themselves. African fabric is what I like to work with. So I made door wreaths, a greeting card line for melanin and melanin adjacent folks. I made bookmarks that were covered in Ankara African fabric. I did picture frames that I covered. What else did I do? I bought all the stuff to vend with, bought a tent, tables, tablecloths, all kinds of stuff. Definitely tapped into my crafty hobby doing things. And I went hard. I went hard. First couple months, I was posting every day. I was staying up all night long making crafts. I have all of these bins. You can't see them now, but bins in my house full of projects that I started. Then I hit my wall. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, this feels like work. It felt like obligation. I have to. And I have really, in my older age, become very resistant to unwanted obligation or a sense of obligation where I have to do something. So I slowed down. And so now I have all of these half done projects sitting around in the house. I have boxes of greeting cards. I've got a website. I've got a Shopify store that I've been loading my products into, but then I hit my wall with that. And so all of this to say, the energy was great. But as I think back, I should have paced myself differently. And that's the whole point of this learning curve episode. Pace myself. I went so hard that I burned myself out and I basically lost interest in this venture. And now I'm trying to work my way back into the same level of excitement and investment that I had previously. And so now I'm scheduling. And I find that that works better for me. I decide that, one day a week, I'm going to work on my marketing. I'm going to post a couple of things. I'm going to take pictures of a few of my products and put it on my Instagram, update my website, update my Shopify store. And then on other days, I decide that I'm going to sit in front of the TV, watch a series, and actually do some crafting. And at this point, I feel like I've got a good stock for the season. I also had to get myself into a space where I can't do it all. I can't make every craft in the next 2 weeks. And so now I'm trying to do season rollouts. So I've got my summer stuff. I have a few vending events that I have scheduled. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum amount. And I'm hoping that that will help reinvigorate some of my interest, but also keep it at a manageable level. Me and manageable level, we have a love-hate relationship. So that's one example of one of the projects that I started and have struggled to complete. Next project, I decided to turn my extra bedroom, not my guest room, but the other bedroom, into a dressing room for myself. I struggle for closet space. I am a clothes hoarder, shoe hoarder, bag hoarder, whatever. And I have used up all the closets in all of the rooms, and I still have clothes everywhere. So I decided to turn that into a dressing room. I bought clothing racks. I hang up things by category. I keep all of my extra bags, shoes I'm not wearing for the season, everything in that room. Great idea. Yeah. So let's talk about the energy flow again. In a moment of a burst of energy, I thought that was great. I cleaned everything out. I started putting all this stuff in, and then the energy began to wane. Again, I overwhelmed myself with just too much. So now I have a room that's halfway a dressing room, still a lot of stuff in there that I need to get through. Every time I open the door and think about it, I get overwhelmed. So again, I'm going to need to schedule reasonable amounts of time for myself to work on this project. I also have expanded the deadline or the timeline that I was expecting this to be done. A lot of times I tell myself, I got to get this done in a weekend. Well, I've already set myself up to not get it done in the weekend because of the pressure I've put on myself. So to me, this is going to be a season-long activity. Hopefully by the end of the season, I will have everything in place. I'll have everything taken to Goodwill. The room will be actually able to be used as a dressing room. So that's project number 2 that I have started. Project number 3. I decided I wanted to change the decor in my living room. Right now, I have some pictures on the wall. I'm going to take them off, and I decided I wanted to do a collage of pictures. So I ordered all these collage pictures from Temu before the tariffs hit. So I've got all these pictures coming in, but it's like I halfway thought through that idea. So I have all these pictures. I still have the pictures on the wall. I don't know where I'm going to move the pictures that are currently on the wall to another place in the house, because if you've been to my house, baby, wall space is at a premium. Love art. I love seeing things. I love beautiful things. So let me tell you, the walls are full. Not in a tacky way, but they are occupied. So now I've got this half project. More pictures are still coming in every day in deliveries, and I've got to figure out how I'm going to get this done. So, all of this to say, is it great to plan projects? Yes. Is it great to capitalize on the energy that you are experiencing due to the warmer weather? Absolutely. Do what you do, but pace yourself. I tend to run into burnout quite often because I'm so excited to be feeling better, having a better mood, having more energy, that again, I feel like I need to make up for my down season by packing everything into this next 3 to 4 months. I'm already overwhelmed just saying that. So you can imagine what it's like living that. Definitely trying to be mindful this season. Definitely trying to use the time and my peaks in energy to get more done, but then not feeling guilty and beating myself up when I have lower energy, and really enjoying that rest time. Because rest is just as productive as 50 million projects going on in the house. Thank you for joining me today. I just felt like I needed to come on here and talk a little bit, just talking with some of my girlfriends and people in my life, my clients in my practice. It seems like this is actually more common than just a Jerisha thing, and that a lot of people kind of feel this surge of energy during the warmer months and pack a bunch of stuff in there and lead to burnout. Let's not burn ourselves out. Let's stretch this energy out. And let's even figure out maybe how to get that energy to get us through the fall and maybe even a little bit of the winter season. Is there a way for us to elongate how much time we have with this energy boost before we end up back in our hibernation stage? Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. I know it's been a minute since I've done a podcast, but again, I'm feeling the energy. So I have this one, and I am getting ready to film another one. It's a little personal, so I will be interested in hearing your feedback. Keep in touch with me, the Learning Curve PCast on Instagram. Also, the Learning Curve PCast at gmail.com. If you want to send me a comment, if you want to send me a possible topic or something that you'd like to hear me talk about, or if you'd like to be a guest on the Learning Curve podcast. Look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy your warmer weather. Enjoy your energy surge. Get some things done. But most importantly, take care of yourself.